What an exciting morning. President-elect Donald Trump just rang the opening bell for the New York Stock Exchange, but that wasn't even the best part. The most exciting part was when the entire floor, which obviously is in the middle of deep blue New York City, broke out into chants of USA, USA. Take a look at this. We are so back, and as you notice behind him, it was the Time magazine cover. Trump has been named Person of the Year for the second time, and as part of this morning's events, Trump actually gave a speech to acknowledge and accept being named Person of the Year, and here is part of that.
Well, thank you very much. This is an honor, a tremendous honor. I brought some of our compatriots along with us. They're going to do a beautiful job for you for the next 4 years. And it's really been something very special. And I have to say, Time Magazine getting this honor for the second time, I think I like it better this time, actually. But we did a good job. We had a great first term, despite a lot of turmoil caused unnecessarily. But the media's tamed down a little bit. They're liking us much better now, I think. If they don't, we'll have to just take them on again, and we don't want to do that. But I do want to thank Time Magazine. I've been on the cover many times. I don't know who has the record, but I can only probably talk well about 25% of the covers. 25% are great. The others I just sort of hide. But it's been an honor, and every time it's an honor, I will tell you. And thank you very much for doing it. And thank the whole group at Time. Really very professional people. Thank you very much.
So, in addition to responding to being named Time Magazine's Person of the Year, Donald Trump also talked more about some policies that he's recently unveiled. For example, yesterday he announced that he is going to be expediting the approval process for businesses that want to invest $1 billion or more in the United States economy. Take a look.
We're going to create the incentive theory again. In fact, I just announced yesterday, I didn't announce it for this reason, but anybody investing $1 billion or more gets a very expedited approval process because, you know, the approvals, when people come into the country, it takes them, in many cases, 14, 15, 16 years to get the approval.
Yeah, I think this is really exciting. He wants to turbocharge the economy. And obviously, this is more than just having products manufactured and made in the USA. This is about making sure that the American people have the opportunity to find work to establish themselves in careers and well-paying jobs. This obviously helps people from all walks of life, and there is certainly dignity in all types of work. So I am very excited about this news. Now, one of the things that has become really apparent in following Donald Trump, from reading about him, watching interviews, following him on the campaign trail, is that while he doesn't have a lot of fears, he is consistent in the fears that he does have. And one of the fears he's talked about the most publicly is the fear of nuclear weapons. And obviously, right now, the world is on the precipice of very dangerous times, from what's happening between Russia, Ukraine, China, Taiwan, Iran, and all the rest. We need to make sure that things don't escalate. And Donald Trump spent a good portion of this speech talking about the threat of nuclear weapons.
And I could just say that the economy, I believe, is going to be very strong. We do have to solve some problems. We have wars going on that we didn't have. We have a lot of things happening that we didn't have that would have never happened. They would have never happened. But now they have happened. And I want to get them solved. We have to get them solved because ultimately the power of weaponry today is the biggest threat we have, in my opinion. It's not some of the other things that you read about. It's the power of weaponry. The weapons are so powerful, so devastating, and I rebuilt our military. I got to know every one of them, including nuclear weapons. I hated to do it. Actually, I hated to do it, but we did some nuclear weapons that are so devastating it almost makes you very sad as you get them and as they come online. It makes you very sad because you know what the purpose of them is, and you just hope to God that you never have to use them, because if you do, the world will never be the same. So we have to be very, very smart. We have to be very sharp. We have to be very special to do a job.
That right there is one of the things that I really like the most about Donald Trump. There is no question that Trump is strong. There's no question that he'll do what it takes to protect America, and especially the homeland, but the continental United States, and of course, Alaska and Hawaii. But there's no question that he's strong. But he's not trigger happy. There, you hear him talk about the seriousness, the gravity of the situation of having to use nuclear weapons. And I think that's what we want in a president. We don't just want someone who's going to, when Trump talked about Little Rocket Man in his first term, the media freaked out and they were like, oh, Trump is going to launch us into a nuclear war and he's just going to be trigger happy and he's going to press that red button one right after the other. And that never happened. And this is exactly what you want. You want someone who understands how serious. I mean, these are weapons of mass destruction, literally. And you want someone who, A, has the strength to use them when it's appropriate, when the time is right. But you also want someone who understands the human toll, the very real devastation that these weapons cause. And I think that moment right there solidified for me that that's who I want in the Oval Office, and not Kamala Harris or Joe Biden. Now, another policy that Donald Trump revealed during the speech is that he is considering a 15% tax rate. So he had lowered the corporate tax rate down to 21%. Now, this is only for companies who produce their products here in America. And for those who manufacture products here in America, that rate will go down from 21 to 15%.
So, ladies and gentlemen, go on. We're going to put it straight. We're going to give tremendous incentive like no other country has. We're cutting your taxes. We're going to cut them very substantially. We got them down to 21% from probably 42 or 44%, depending on where you are. And we got them down to 21. Everyone said that was a miracle. Now we're getting them down to 15, but only if you make your product here. Otherwise, you pay 21, which is not bad. It's in the middle of the pack. But 15 brings you down to among the lower. And for those that are running the big companies, those great, big, beautiful companies, nobody's going to be leaving us. You're going to be coming back. You're going to be bringing it back to the United States. We are incentivizing everybody to come back to the United States. We want you back here. Car manufacturers, everybody. And we have one product that nobody has really to the extent that we do. It's called oil and gas. There is no country in the world that has more. We're number one. I brought it to number one during my first term in terms of production. We're going to be number one plus. We'll do numbers that nobody will really see before. And when that happens, prices are going to start coming down because people can't afford their groceries, and they're going to be affording their groceries very soon.
Look, the Democrats, the media, they're going to try to spin that as Donald Trump giving tax cuts to his rich, wealthy billionaire friends. But that's just not what that is. That is incentivizing businesses to invest here in America. That helps people like you and me get jobs, be able to put food on the table, pay our bills. Would you rather have a company paying more taxes, yet, people are struggling without jobs, that doesn't help them? Or would you rather have a company that pays 15? Sure, it's less than what it was before, but now so many more people are employed. That unemployment rate goes down. More people have opportunities to get ahead. This is what this is all about. He is investing in America, and that has the media really excited. Yes, things are very different from his first term, and even when he ran for re-election in 2020, the media... Sure, he has the detractors on MSNBC, The View, all the usual suspects, but in other areas, he's actually getting a fair shot. And one of those examples is CNBC. They were just glowing and gushing about him this morning.
A nice showing, geographically easy for them to get here.
And just optically, Jim, sort of a show of force.
of American business.
No, I mean, yeah, this is, I have to tell you, I can't, I'm trying to remember when I've seen such an agglomeration of people.
Never.
No.
I don't think we've ever seen this.
No, and these are people, by the way, all walks of business. This is not tech and it's not financial. I mean, we have Brian Cornell from Target.
Yeah, they have appeared to change their tune. It's not just them. Even Meta's Mark Zuckerberg's Meta donates $1 million to Trump's inaugural fund in huge power shift. That is not on my bingo card. My bingo card is like, I don't know. Does it grow or does it stay stagnant? Like, are we allowed to add these pieces to our cards? Let me know your thoughts on that down below. But that definitely was not on my predictions list. And by the way, the media praising Trump, not just CNBC. This is what they said on Fox Business. They were talking about how Wall Street is just ready for business and ready to be back in action.
This really signifies business is back. Business is open. It's so anti-business the last 4 years.
Yes.
The fact that you have CEOs on the floor there welcoming him in a much different way, I think, than they did back in 2016, really signals people are ready for business in America to be open.
Can you hear that? USA,
Yep.
USA. That's the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, the cathedral of capitalism, ladies and gentlemen.
And by the way,
They
Stuart,
love it.
and you probably know this, they all wear the American flag on the side of their trading jackets.
They do.
It's an incredible, as Lauren said, an incredibly proud group of Americans.
And even after the opening bell, all the people on the floor were rushing to meet Donald Trump. They just wanted a moment to shake his hand, exchange a few words. This is one of those moments.
What's up, guys? It's 9:48. Shouldn't you be making money?
JD, all our guys, thrilled to see you. I mean, this is it. Can't wait for you.
What's up, guys? How we doing?
Yes, anybody who's our guy, you're our guy. This is it. You are our guy.
Can you imagine? I mean, what a comeback. What a historic comeback. And to see this in the middle of New York City, yes, I know it's the New York Stock Exchange, and I know that business tends to be on the side of Republicans and Donald Trump and whatever the Democrats want to say. But to see that is really exciting. And none of this, by the way, is just to praise Donald Trump. I'm going to get to this in a moment. But take a look at the libs of TikTok posted this, how it started. You see Donald Trump's mugshot on the left, how it's going, person of the year on the right. And like I said, this is less about praising Donald Trump as much as it is, I think, inspiring me again about the promise and the freedom and the opportunities we have here in America. In America, you have the opportunity to redefine yourself again and again and again. And you can always, it's never too late. It's never too late to achieve your dream. It's never too late to, and this goes beyond politics. I think this applies to you and me, to get another degree or maybe get your first degree, to start a business. There's just, to me, if someone like Donald Trump, and yes, I get he's a billionaire, I get that, but he had the entire establishment against him. If he was able to fight through that, win re-election, not just win the Electoral College, but the popular vote, and then get a trifecta in the federal government, if he can do that, that reminds me, that tells me that yes, the American dream is alive and well. Yes, there is a reason this is called the land of opportunity, and that isn't just for people like him. That applies to you and me as well. This is an exciting time to be alive, and it really inspires me. Last but not least, Benny Johnson posted a snippet of Donald Trump's interview with Time Magazine, and he talked about pardons for January 6th prisoners, and he said that they're going to do it quickly, they're going to do it starting in the first hour, but it's not going to be just blanket pardons. What they're going to do is look at a case-by-case basis, which is what people like me have wanted all along. If anyone did anything violent, if anyone assaulted a police officer, of course they should not be pardoned. However, for those innocent grandmas who were let into the Capitol building, for the people, it's a huge building. And there is so much evidence that there are many doors. Yes, there are some areas where people broke in, but there were many other instances where the doors and the gates were literally opened by Capitol Police. And there were some people who had no idea they were doing anything wrong. They thought that they were being welcomed in. You can see this on camera. It's not AI. There is so much footage that the January 6th committee hid from the public. And those people who were innocently, peacefully strolling through the Capitol, they 100% deserve to be pardoned. But as always, all of this is just my analysis and commentary. That is what's going on in the world of politics from my point of view, and I would love to hear from you. So What do you think about Donald Trump ringing the bell at the New York Stock Exchange? Are you excited about it? What do you think about the economy? I've sort of warned and predicted. I personally believe that no matter who won, there's going to be an economic downturn next year. I'm really worried that the media and the Democrats are going to try to unfairly blame that on Trump. But regardless, saying all of this, I'm wondering, hey, maybe we can avoid that, especially if he turbocharges investments here in the U.S. economy. Or if you don't want to talk about that, maybe my whole spiel about Donald Trump's comeback being symbolic of America being a land of opportunity, and not just for the elites, not just for the wealthy, but for people like you and I. Let me know your thoughts on all of that down below. If you haven't already, please be sure to give me a thumbs up. I know it's a simple thing to ask for, but it really does help me to reach more viewers like you in the algorithm. I'm going to try to churn out a lot of videos today. There is a governor's party in the state that I'm in, and I was asked to play piano for it, so I am going to be practicing in between videos, then I'm going to log off early to do that. And yes, I am still planning on live streaming playing piano, Christmas carols, perhaps a sing-along. I'll have more details on that soon. It is coming. I haven't forgotten. Yeah, so like this video, be sure to smash that subscribe button and to check out one of these videos.